First contact and deception. The massive vessel emerged from hyperspace at the edge of Earth's solar system, its crystalline hull refracting sunlight in mesmerizing patterns. The HFY Empire's flagship, Pride of Eternity, represented everything humanity had imagined about advanced alien civilizations: sleek, impossibly large, and radiating power. But unlike humanity's hopeful dreams of first contact, this meeting would reveal the darker nature of galactic politics. Admiral Zenra stood on the bridge, her iridescent scales shifting colors with barely contained excitement. After centuries of expansion, the HFY Empire had finally found another civilization advanced enough to be worthy of their attention. The primitive radio signals they detected suggested a species just beginning to reach for the stars, perfect for their purposes. "Begin the standard first contact protocol," Zenra commanded, her translator converting her sibilant speech into the ship's common language. "Let's give them the usual show of peace and enlightenment." The Pride of Eternity's communication arrays activated, broadcasting carefully crafted messages of friendship in every human language they decoded. Behind the peaceful facade, however, hundreds of warships waited in fold space, ready to emerge once Earth's defenses were fully analyzed. On Earth, the response to first contact was far different from what the HFY expected. In the UN Security Council's underground bunker beneath Geneva, General Sarah Chen watched the alien transmission with hard eyes. "Right on schedule," she murmured, exchanging knowing looks with her colleagues. "They're following the exact pattern intelligence predicted." For decades, humanity had known they weren't alone. Hidden telescopes had tracked alien conflicts on the edges of known space. Encrypted transmissions had been intercepted and decoded. Earth had prepared in secret, knowing that any civilization capable of interstellar travel would likely view them as either a threat or a resource. "How long should we maintain the charade?" asked Director Marcus Williams of the Global Defense Initiative. "Our surface technology is carefully crafted to appear decades behind our actual capabilities. Let them believe their deception is working," Chen replied. "The longer they think we're naive, the stronger our position becomes." Over the next several weeks, the HFY orchestrated an elaborate show of diplomatic relations. They shared carefully selected technological gifts, advances that seemed impressive to what they believed was humanity's level, but were actually far behind Earth's hidden capabilities. Their ambassadors spoke of cultural exchange and mutual growth, all while their sensors probed Earth's apparent defenses. Admiral Zenra grew increasingly confident. These humans were exactly what they appeared to be: an emerging species eager to join galactic society. Their military technology was predictably primitive, their space presence limited to a handful of basic satellites and a small space station. Everything aligned with their intelligence estimates. What the HFY failed to notice were the quantum sensors embedded in Earth's seemingly primitive satellites, the gravitational distortion detectors tracking their fleet's hidden movements, and the network of artificial intelligence systems analyzing their every communication for deceptive patterns. In her private chambers, Zenra reviewed the invasion plans with her senior staff. "The humans have accepted every gift, every proposal exactly as expected. Their leaders are clearly overwhelmed by our supposed generosity. Begin moving the rest of the fleet into position." In 3 days, we launched the greatest expansion of the Empire since the Centauri campaign. Back on Earth, in a facility 2 kilometers beneath the Atacama Desert, humanity's real leadership met to finalize their own plans. The chamber was filled with holographic displays showing the positions of every HFY ship, including those they thought were hidden. "They're positioning their fleet exactly where we want them," General Chen said, manipulating a 3D tactical display. "Their entire invasion force will be caught in the gravity well when we activate the mass drivers." Director Williams nodded grimly. "And their supposedly superior gifts have given us the final pieces of data we needed about their defensive systems. The Trojan horse works both ways, it seems. All planetary defense grids are at full capacity," reported Admiral James Morrison, his weathered face illuminated by the holographic displays. The orbital platforms are masked and in position. Surface infrastructure is hardened, and our civilian populations are ready for immediate evacuation to the underground cities if needed. All planetary defense grids are at full capacity, reported Admiral James Morrison, his weathered face illuminated by the holographic displays. The orbital platforms are masked and in position. Surface infrastructure is hardened, and our civilian populations are ready for immediate evacuation to the underground cities if needed. Then we wait, Chen said, watching the alien ships maneuver into their final positions. Let them think their deception is perfect. Let them believe we're the primitive species they can simply conquer or absorb. When they show their true intentions. She left the sentence unfinished, but everyone in the room knew what would follow. Humanity had spent generations preparing for this moment, building defenses and technologies that no alien empire would expect from an emerging civilization. The Sarathi were about to learn that appearances could be deceiving, and that underestimating humanity would be the greatest mistake their empire had ever made. Silent preparation. Deep within Earth's quantum computing nexus, buried beneath the ice of Antarctica, Dr. Elena Rodriguez watched as the alien encryption codes unraveled before her eyes. The Exarathi's supposedly unbreakable communications were being decoded in real time, their tactical networks laid bare by humanity's quantum AI systems. They're planning to strike in 18 hours, she announced to the holographic faces of Earth's Defense Council. The main fleet will emerge from fold space at these coordinates. Her fingers danced across the neural interface, highlighting points around Earth's orbital plane. General Chen's hologram nodded grimly, exactly where we predicted. Their tactical doctrine hasn't evolved in centuries. They rely too heavily on their technological superiority. A superiority they don't actually have. Director Williams added, his expression stern. Dr. Rodriguez, what's the status of Project Prometheus? Elena pulled up another display, showing a network of satellites that appeared innocent and primitive to alien scans. The gravity manipulation grid is fully operational. Once activated, it will trap their entire fleet in a localized distortion field. Their fold space drives will be useless. In orbit, disguised as debris and defunct satellites, humanity's true defensive grid waited silently. Each piece was a technological marvel, incorporating advances that had been kept hidden from the world for decades. Quantum-locked weapons platforms, dark matter generators, and consciousness disruption fields, technologies that the Exarathi thought were centuries beyond human capability. Aboard the Pride of Eternity, Admiral Zenra reviewed the final invasion plans with her command staff. The humans suspect nothing, she declared, mandibles clicking with satisfaction. Their responses to our probes have been exactly what we expected from a pre-galactic civilization. Her tactical officer, Sub-Commander Vex, displayed a hologram of Earth's apparent defenses. Their military capabilities are negligible. Primitive projectile weapons, basic energy shields, and rudimentary space vessels. We expect minimal resistance. What the Sarathi War Council couldn't see was the quantum observer hidden in their very command center, a piece of human technology so advanced it existed partially outside normal space-time. Every word, every plan was being transmitted instantly to Earth's Defense Command. In her private laboratory beneath the Atacama, Dr. Rodriguez made final adjustments to the consciousness disruption field. The device was humanity's ace, a weapon that targeted the unique neural patterns of Harathi biology, capable of incapacitating their forces without harming human minds. The field is calibrated, she reported to General Chen. We can shut down their entire command structure the moment they make their move. Their ships will be fully crewed but effectively brain-dead. Excellent, Chen replied. What about the civilian population? The underground cities are ready. Director Williams interjected. We can evacuate every major population center in under 30 minutes. The surface infrastructure we're leaving exposed is all automated or hardened. Let them waste ammunition on empty buildings and robot defenders. As the hours ticked down, humanity's true face remained hidden behind a carefully crafted mask of technological inferiority. The Xerathi saw what they expected to see: a young species ripe for conquest. They never questioned why Earth's leaders seemed so calm in the face of their obvious military advantage, why human scientists accepted their advanced gifts with such apparent awe. In the lowest levels of the Geneva facility, General Chen stood before a wall of monitors showing real-time feeds from across the solar system. "Status report," she commanded. "Quantum grid at 100% capacity," came the first response. "Gravity wells primed and ready. Consciousness disruptors online. Neural targeting matrices locked. Underground evacuation protocols on standby. All civilian centers ready to go dark. Orbital weapons platforms showing green across the board. Dark matter generators spooled and ready." Chen allowed herself a small smile. For generations, humanity had known this day would come. They had prepared, advanced, and hidden their true capabilities while watching the galaxy's empires wage their wars. The Xerathi thought they were springing a trap on an unsuspecting primitive species. Instead, they were walking into the most sophisticated ambush in human military history. "Remember," Chen addressed her command staff, "we're not just fighting for Earth. We're sending a message to every empire in the galaxy. Humanity will not be conquered. We will not be colonized. And anyone who tries will learn exactly how dangerous we can be." As the countdown to invasion reached its final hours, both sides prepared for battle, one confident in their overwhelming superiority, the other patiently waiting to spring a trap generations in the making. The Xerathi Empire was about to learn why humanity had worked so hard to appear weak, and why that deception would cost them dearly. The Empire's folly. Admiral Zenra stood triumphant on the bridge of the Pride of Eternity as thousands of Xerathi warships emerged from fold space around Earth. The invasion fleet filled the sky like artificial stars, their crystalline hulls gleaming in the sunlight. It was the largest military force the Empire had ever assembled for a single conquest. "Send the ultimatum," she commanded. "Let them see the futility of resistance." The message broadcast across every frequency, transmitted in all Earth's languages. "People of Earth, your deception has failed. We know of your primitive attempts to hide military assets. Surrender now, and we will be merciful. Resist, and we will reduce your cities to ash." In the command center beneath Geneva, General Chen watched the alien fleet's deployment with calculated satisfaction. "Right on schedule," she murmured. "And perfectly positioned." She turned to her staff. "Begin evacuation protocols. Let's clear the board for what comes next." Across the globe, cities appeared to panic. Millions flowed into underground shelters, not in fear, but in well-rehearsed preparation. Within 20 minutes, every major population center was empty, leaving behind only automated defense systems and holographic projections of human activity. Admiral Zenra observed the chaos with disdain. Typical primitive response. Begin the first wave assault. Target their military installations and government centers. The Xerathi fleet launched its attack, thousands of energy weapons firing simultaneously at Earth's surface. The shots struck their targets with devastating force, destroying buildings and military bases. But something was wrong. There was no resistance, no return fire, no desperate pleas for mercy. "Admiral," Sub-Commander Vex called out, confusion evident in his voice. "We're detecting no casualties. The structures we're destroying, they're empty." Before Zenra could respond, Dr. Rodriguez's voice echoed through every Xerathi ship, speaking perfect Imperial common. "Thank you for accepting our invitation, Admiral Zenra. Now, allow us to demonstrate why the strong do not prey upon the prepared." Chen gave the order. "Activate the gravity web." Invisible fields of distorted space-time suddenly materialized around the Xerathi fleet. Ships that tried to engage their fold space drives found themselves trapped in localized gravity wells. Movement became difficult. then impossible, as the carefully positioned human satellites created a three-dimensional cage of gravitational force. Impossible. Zenra screamed as warnings blared across her bridge. They can't have this technology. They're primitives. Second phase, Chen commanded. Show them what humanity can really do. The debris field around Earth came alive. Seemingly defunct satellites transformed, revealing advanced weapon systems that had been hidden in plain sight. Dark matter beams lanced out, passing through the Xarethi's energy shields as if they didn't exist, severing ships into clean halves. Our shields, Vex shouted. They're useless against these weapons. How can they have dark matter manipulation? Even the Empire hasn't mastered that. Dr. Rodriguez activated the consciousness disruption field. Across the Xarethi fleet, crews collapsed as the carefully tuned weapon affected their neural patterns. Ships began to drift, their crews incapacitated but alive. A demonstration of both humanity's power and their mercy. The pride of eternity itself was trapped in the gravity web, its mighty weapons rendered useless. Admiral Zenra watched in horror as her invasion force was systematically neutralized by technology that shouldn't exist. Final phase, Chen ordered. Let's make our point clear. Earth's true orbital defense grid revealed itself, platforms housing weapons beyond even the Empire's understanding. Quantum-locked missiles that existed in multiple states simultaneously, making them impossible to intercept. Temporal disruption beams that aged targeted sections of hull plating by centuries in seconds. Within 30 minutes, the greatest invasion fleet in Imperial history had been completely neutralized. No Xarethi lives were lost, but their pride and their illusions of superiority were utterly shattered. General Chen opened a channel to the pride of eternity, where Admiral Zenra stood frozen in shock. Your Empire made 3 critical mistakes, Admiral. First, you assumed that any species less advanced than you must be primitive. Second, you believed that technology had to be displayed to exist. And third, she paused, letting her words sink in. You thought humanity would be an easy target. What are you? Zenra managed to ask. We are humanity, Chen replied simply. We have watched your empire and others like it for generations. We have learned from your conflicts, advanced beyond your understanding, and prepared for this day. You see, Admiral, we knew that eventually someone would come to conquer Earth. So we made sure that when that day arrived, we would be ready to teach the galaxy a lesson it would never forget. Technological superiority. The aftermath of the battle brought a profound silence to Earth's orbit. The mighty Xarethi fleet hung motionless in the gravity web, their crews slowly regaining consciousness. On the Pride of Eternity's bridge, Admiral Zenra stood with her senior staff, watching in stunned disbelief as Earth's true face was finally revealed. Massive orbital structures phased into existence, dropping their quantum camouflage. Space stations that dwarfed anything in the Imperial fleet emerged from dimensional pockets. Earth's atmosphere rippled as massive city-sized platforms rose from the ocean depths, their surfaces bristling with technology that the Empire's scientists had only theorized about. Dr. Rodriguez's hologram appeared before the captured Imperial command staff. What you're seeing, Admiral, is merely a fraction of humanity's true capabilities. While your empire focused on expansion and conquest, we chose a different path. We focused on understanding the fundamental nature of reality itself. In the Geneva Command Center, Director Williams coordinated with the Global Defense Network as humanity's hidden infrastructure continued to reveal itself. Underground cities rose to the surface, their advanced architecture seamlessly blending technology and nature. Transport systems that bent space-time itself connected continents in seconds. Your empire's greatest weakness, General Chen addressed the captured Xarethi leaders, was your assumption that technological advancement must follow a predictable path. You believed that any civilization younger than yours must be less advanced. That assumption made you blind. The holographic displays showed the full extent of human achievement. Quantum computers that could process more information than every Imperial system combined. energy production that harnessed the power of artificial microscopic black holes, medical technology that had practically eliminated death from natural causes. While you watched our primitive satellites and basic space stations, Chen continued, our real scientific endeavors were happening outside your ability to perceive them. We developed technologies your empire never considered because you were too focused on weapons of war. In Antarctica, Dr. Rodriguez activated another system, causing the captured Sarathi ships to glow with a soft blue light. Right now, we're rewriting the quantum state of your entire fleet. Your weapons are being permanently converted into something more useful. Consider it a demonstration of our engineering capabilities. The Imperial crews watched in awe as their mighty warships transformed at the molecular level. Weapon systems became atmospheric processors. Shield generators were converted into gravity manipulation devices. The tools of war became instruments of creation. You see, Admiral, Chen explained, humanity chose to advance differently than your empire. We didn't build weapons first. We built understanding. We didn't seek to conquer the stars. We sought to comprehend them. The technology you're witnessing isn't just advanced. It's fundamentally different from anything your empire has conceived. In orbit, the pride of eternity itself began to change. Its crystalline hull became transparent, revealing the intricate networks of energy and matter that humans had mastered. The ship's computer systems came alive with new awareness, freed from the limitations of imperial programming. Your empire measures advancement by the ability to destroy, Director Williams added. We measure it by the ability to transform, to create, to transcend the very limits of what you consider possible. Admiral Zenra found her voice at last. Why reveal all this now? Why show us the full extent of your capabilities? General Chen's expression was stern but not unkind. Because the galaxy needs to understand. Humanity is not interested in conquest or domination. We have no desire to rule an empire or subjugate other species, but we will not tolerate aggression against Earth or our allies. What you're seeing is not just a demonstration of power, it's a promise. Dr. Rodriguez's hologram gestured, and the gravity web began to dissolve. Your ships have been transformed, but your crews are unharmed. Return to your empire. Tell them what you've witnessed here. Let the galaxy know that humanity stands ready to share our knowledge with those who come in peace. The Exarethi crews found themselves able to move freely again, their ships now more advanced than anything in Imperial space, but incapable of being used as weapons. It was perhaps the most elegant demonstration of humanity's philosophy, the power to transform rather than destroy. Victory and warning. 3 months after the failed invasion, Earth's solar system had become the center of a diplomatic revolution that would reshape galactic civilization. The Exarethi Empire's attempt to conquer humanity had instead exposed the fundamental flaws in their understanding of progress and power. In the newly revealed Singapore space elevator, General Chen stood with Dr. Rodriguez and Director Williams, watching as diplomatic vessels from across the galaxy arrived for the first galactic concordat. The massive structure, reaching from Earth's surface into geosynchronous orbit, had been hidden beneath quantum camouflage for decades. The Exarethi delegation has arrived, Rodriguez announced, monitoring the quantum sensors. Admiral Zenra is leading them personally. The pride of eternity, now a symbol of transformation rather than conquest, docked alongside ships from 24 other civilizations. Its crystalline hull still sparkled, but now it housed technologies dedicated to exploration and understanding rather than warfare. The Emperor himself is watching via quantum entanglement, Williams noted, along with the leaders of every major galactic power. They're all eager to understand how a primitive world managed to humble their greatest rival. In the Grand Conference Chamber, designed with architecture that subtly incorporated higher dimensional geometry, humanity prepared to address the gathered representatives of galactic civilization. The room itself was a demonstration of their capabilities. Every surface contained technologies that the greatest alien scientists were only beginning to comprehend. Admiral Zenra, now serving as the Exarathi's chief diplomat, approached the Earth delegation. "My people have spent these past months trying to understand," she said, her once arrogant tone replaced with genuine humility. "How did humanity advance so far without anyone noticing?" "Because we understood something fundamental about progress," Chen replied. "True advancement isn't about who has the biggest weapons or the most territory. It's about expanding the boundaries of what's possible while maintaining our humanity." Dr. Rodriguez activated a holographic display that filled the chamber, showing the true extent of human civilization. Vast networks of dimensional gateways, research stations phased slightly out of normal spacetime, and technologies that bordered on the miraculous. For centuries, she explained to the assembled delegates, humanity prepared not just for war, but for peace. We developed our technologies in secret not out of fear, but because we understood that true power lies in choosing when and how to reveal one's capabilities. Director Williams stepped forward. "The galaxy stands at a crossroads. The old way of empire and conquest has met its limit. Humanity offers an alternative path, one of cooperation, transformation, and shared discovery." The chamber erupted in discussion as representatives from countless worlds processed the implications. Some were afraid, others excited, but all understood that the galaxy would never be the same. From this day forward, Chen addressed the assembly. Earth will serve not as a conqueror or ruler, but as a guardian of peace and progress. We will share our knowledge with those who demonstrate wisdom in its use. We will defend the weak from the strong. And we will continue to advance, not for power's sake, but for the betterment of all sentient life. The galactic concordat that emerged from these meetings would reshape civilization itself. The principles of peaceful advancement and shared knowledge would replace the old paradigms of conquest and domination. Humanity's victory over the Galactic Empire became not just a military triumph, but a philosophical revolution. As the delegates departed, carrying humanity's message back to their respective worlds, Admiral Zenra remained behind for one final conversation. "You could have destroyed us," she said to Chen. "Instead, you chose to transform us. Why?" Chen smiled. "Because that's the true measure of civilization, not the ability to destroy, but the wisdom to know when not to. Remember this lesson, Admiral. Humanity will always choose creation over destruction when given the choice, but we will never hesitate to defend ourselves or our allies." As the transformed Pride of Eternity departed Earth's orbit, its crew carried with them not just advanced technology, but a new understanding of what it meant to be truly civilized. Humanity had sent its message to the galaxy not through fear or force, but through wisdom and transformation. In the depths of space, countless civilizations began to reconsider their paths forward. The species that had seemed so primitive, so easy to conquer, had instead become the galaxy's greatest teachers. Earth's warning to would-be conquerors was clear: underestimate humanity at your peril, for we are not what we seem, and our greatest power lies not in weapons, but in our capacity to imagine and create a better future for all.